What happens when airport staff kicked out a poor farmer, but regretted when the owner arrived? Let's dive to see. The sun was setting low over the horizon as Harold Finch sat quietly in a corner of the bustling airport terminal. His worn-out boots tapped softly against the polished floor, and his hands rested on an old leather satchel that had seen better days. Harold wasn't much to look at. His clothes were faded from years of hard work, and his face carried lines etched deep by time and toil. He wasn't there for a flight. He'd come to meet someone important, someone who meant everything to him. Harold's eyes scanned the crowd, searching for any sign of familiarity, but no one seemed to notice him. To most people passing by, he looked like just another stranger waiting around. Little did they know, this man carried within him a heart full of stories, dreams, and lessons learned the hard way. As minutes turned into hours, the noise of the terminal grew louder. Passengers rushed past with rolling suitcases, announcements echoed through the speakers, and the hum of activity filled every corner. Then came Marcus Reed, the head supervisor of security at the airport. Tall, stern, and always eager to maintain order, Marcus prided himself on keeping things running smoothly. "Excuse me," Marcus said, approaching Harold with a tone that left no room for argument. "Sir, you've been sitting here for quite some time. Is there something I can assist you with?" Harold looked up, startled but calm. "I'm waiting for my friend," he replied simply, his voice steady despite the weight of his words. Marcus frowned. "This is not a place to loiter, sir. If you're not traveling or meeting someone imminently, I'll have to ask you to leave." "But I'm expecting someone very special," Harold insisted, his voice soft yet firm. "He'll be here soon." Marcus sighed impatiently. "We can't have random individuals occupying seats indefinitely. Please vacate the area immediately." Without another word, Marcus gestured for two other staff members to escort Harold out. Reluctantly, Harold stood up, clutching his satchel tightly. As he walked away, his shoulders slumped under the burden of rejection, but his spirit remained unbroken. Back inside the terminal, chaos erupted when news reached the top-floor offices about a high-profile visitor arriving later that evening. The owner of the airline, Victor Kane, would personally inspect operations after months away. This sent waves of panic throughout the staff, especially among those responsible for maintaining appearances. Victor Kane wasn't just anyone. He was a self-made billionaire whose name carried immense respect across industries. Known for his sharp mind and humble beginnings, Victor often reminded his employees that success wasn't built on privilege alone. Yet, many forgot these teachings amidst their daily routines. When the announcement came over the intercom welcoming Mr. Kane, the entire terminal fell silent. Cameras flashed, executives gathered, and everyone scrambled to make sure everything looked perfect. That's when the unexpected happened. A tall figure stepped off the plane, dressed casually in jeans and a simple jacket. His presence commanded attention without needing fanfare. With each step, he exuded quiet confidence. Behind him trailed a smaller man, carrying nothing but an old leather satchel. It was Harold Finch. Victor spotted Harold instantly and broke into a wide smile. "Harold!" he called out, striding forward with open arms. The sight shocked everyone present. Here was Victor Kane, the multimillionaire tycoon, embracing a plain-looking farmer as if he were family. Whispers rippled through the crowd, and all eyes turned toward Harold. "What's going on?" Marcus whispered nervously to his colleague beside him. Victor led Harold to the front of the gathering and addressed the stunned audience. "Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to introduce someone very dear to me. This is Harold Finch. Without him, none of what I've achieved today would even exist." Silence hung heavy in the air. No one dared speak. "You see," Victor continued, his voice filled with gratitude, "Harold taught me the value of hard work, integrity, and perseverance. Back when I was struggling to find my footing in life, it was Harold who gave me a job on his farm. He didn't care about my background or lack of education. All he cared about was whether I could pull my weight." Tears welled up in Harold's eyes as Victor spoke. For years, he'd never sought recognition or praise. Helping others was simply part of who he was. Victor paused, letting his words sink in before delivering the first twist. "But let me tell you something else," he said, glancing pointedly at Marcus. When I told Harold I wanted to take him along on this trip to thank him properly, he refused. "No need to waste money on me," he said. So instead, I decided to surprise him. And now I see how poorly he's been treated here. Gasps filled the room as realization dawned upon the staff. They had dismissed the very person their boss held in such high regard. "I expect better from my team," Victor added firmly. "Empathy and kindness are values we must uphold, regardless of someone's appearance or circumstances." Later that night, after the commotion settled, Marcus found himself standing outside Harold's modest home. He knocked hesitantly, unsure of how to apologize. When Harold opened the door, Marcus stammered, "Mr. Finch, I owe you an apology. What I did earlier, it was wrong. You deserve respect, not judgment based on assumptions." Harold studied Marcus for a moment before nodding slowly. "Everyone makes mistakes," he said gently. "What matters is learning from them." That conversation marked the beginning of a profound change in Marcus. From then on, he became known for his compassion and fairness, proving that redemption is possible when you choose to grow. Before leaving, Victor shared one final thought with Harold during dinner. "Life has a funny way of reminding us where true wealth lies," he said, raising a glass of water. "It's not in money or titles, but in the connections we build and the lives we touch." And so, Harold returned to his farm, content knowing he'd made a difference, not just in Victor's life, but also in the hearts of those who witnessed his story. In the end, it wasn't about grand gestures or lavish rewards. It was about being kind, staying grounded, and believing in the power of humanity. That's the story, friends. I hope you enjoyed it. It was a pleasure sharing it with you all. Don't forget to comment below and let me know where you're watching from. It's always fun to see the global reach of these stories. And if you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button for more amazing stories, tips, and tricks. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye. If you'd like to show some extra love, tap the 3 dots near the share button and send a super thanks.